this is our bearded dragon, at least one of them, and another one's over there, but for a while, it took a while to get him to eat vegetables, and we had to try and get a way to get him to eat, and he's been eating vegetables very well. He also loves crickets, both of our bearded dragons do, and they'll eat many different kinds of fruits and vegetables, and there's kind of a trick that I came up with to try and get them to eat, which worked. But one thing you want to make sure is that whenever you make the vegetables or feed them anything, that the food can't be any greater than the distance between their eyes. So you want to make sure that you try and keep the fruits and vegetables cut down small to where they can swallow them without choking. Let me just go ahead and show you kind of what I do to, or at least what I did to get them to start eating. They eat pretty well on their own now, but it's important that you give them vegetables, especially as they get older. They need to be eating about 80% vegetables, 20% live foods, crickets, mealworms, pinkies, although we don't feed them pinkies, my wife would kill me. But we will go ahead and feed them regularly. When they're younger, they'll eat 80% live, 20% vegetables, and as they get older, the ratio changes from 20-80 to 80-20. And you can feed them cucumbers, lettuce, although not iceberg, and give them runs. You can give them like red leaf lettuce, kale, apple, even corn and different types of vegetables that you have. They'll eat pretty much anything you'll find on a Cobb salad, pretty much. And of course, if you really want them to eat their vegetables, you probably want to hold off on feeding them crickets until after they've eaten their vegetables, so they don't fill up on just their dessert, which is their live food. So anyways, so let me go ahead and show you a few things here real quick. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with some cucumber, and we'll just go ahead and slice off a couple slices like so. And you just want to go ahead and cut it, again, in small squares so that they can get it down easily. And again, when I was first feeding them, the squares were a lot smaller than this because of course they were younger. And once they cut up, I just kind of break them apart a little bit so they can get them in their mouth, because they try and pick at it with their gumless gums. And in the beginning, I would just take a stick, like a chopstick, and when the bearded dragons were close by, I would just kind of like move them around a little bit, just to draw their attention to them, and sometimes even move one close to their mouth, and just keep teasing them with the pieces, and that would get them a little interested in tasting it. And then of course you can take some other vegetables, parsley, whatever, apple, even dandelions. My kids love to feed them dandelions. And just break them up in small pieces. I like to take the stems off. I don't like to give them the thick stems. Just to give them the flower of the plant, like so. And last, before I give the bearded dragons the food, I want to mist it down with some water. It's a good way to get them some hydration. And then we're all set to give those to the bearded dragons. Okay, so here's our bearded dragons, and we've got up on the log there is Toothless, named after the dragon in How to Train Your Dragon by our kids, and then Hiccup, of course, another character in the same movie. So what we go and do is just go ahead and put the plate in there, just kind of move around a little bit, and then with a stick I would just go ahead and move these around, get them a little interested in wanting to pick a piece. They eye it, and then down it goes. Now we've got the big guy here. Just get him to go down to the plate, and he's pretty good about eating when he's wanting. And I'm going to show you guys some crickets here in a minute. It's a massive feeding, but they're probably not too hungry at the moment. But you get the idea. Just get the stick kind of going, and they will go for it when they're hungry. They're already kind of well fed, but he'll still go for it. And this guy right here, he's shedding, and so he may not be too hungry. But if you want to get them to eat vegetables, which is really important, You're going to want to kind of tease them with the food to get them interested. They love cucumber. It's high in water. Gives them some good hydration. And you can feed them other things as you experiment. I mean, it'd be a good idea to go online and find out what they can or cannot eat. But dandelions seem to be a real treat for them that they just devour. Maybe I'll show you a little bit of that as well. Okay. Alright, so another thing my son likes to do is he likes to stick it on the stick, like a piece of cucumber on the stick. Go ahead and feed it to him. And he just waves it in front of his face, and he'll chow it down. I just love watching them eat. They're just the coolest animals. And I'm going to give them some dessert here in a second. We're going to go ahead and give them some crickets, and you can see the wild hunt begin because they go ape with the crickets. All right, so I've got some crickets here, and of course, if I show them to the lizards, they're going to get quite interested. See, he sees them already, and he's going, "Oh yeah, give that to me." So here's the thing. Sometimes I dust them down, a little bit of calcium dust with vitamins. You can buy that at any pet store. And I just typically take a little pinch of it, sprinkle it onto the crickets. Take a couple of things, and don't do this every time. Do this maybe, once every 5 feedings or so. You don't want too much of any one thing is not always good, but just get him kind of lightly dusted. And he's just still kind of waiting. And I'm just going to take this guy here, and he just goes for it. See? They're both going. They're going, where are the crickets? And that's the feasting that they love to do. And typically, I'm not feeding them any right now, but got one more here. Actually, he'll even eat out of the cup. Watch, this is kind of funny. He just gets that cricket. He goes for it. So anyways, yeah, I mean, I'll feed them daily. I'll give them a good 15 to 20 crickets between the two of them. Maybe even 20 to 25 in one feeding. And they'll just completely go for it every day. So I'll just feed them every day, and vegetables every day as well, and keep them hydrated. Give them plenty of water to go after. But they typically will not, go for water in the dish for some reason. I've tried to lure them by dribbling the dish in there, and like dribbling water in the dish, and they just don't seem to really go for it. But I like to have water standing for them as well. I'm kind of going, wait, I want some more. But typically, if you keep them well fed and give them plenty of vitamins and good food, you're going to last a long time.